Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day here in Toronto, and looks like a lot of places are getting the flood waters cleaned up and, getting their homes taken care of, which is good. I'm happy to see that. And yesterday I started watching the Mandela movie, but I guess grief is different. I fell asleep. I fell asleep watching it. I've watched it before, but sometimes the grief gets to you. And the Conservative government was very good when they were in power before the Liberal government came in. So when I lost my job in 2007 and I got that opportunity with the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, they contacted me. They had heard about my volunteering and what I was doing, and they contacted me and asked me if I would be willing to be a speaker for them. So I said, yes, of course, I'd be honored to do that for the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, because I went to university in South Africa and it's something that I'm very passionate about. So they called us to the office, they gave us the training, they gave us the speaker's notes and the videos, and then I went out to the schools, and the Conservative government was very generous because they paid for us to be able to take taxis to get to the schools if we needed it, because some of the schools were not close. So I would take a TTC to the nearest subway, and then I would get a taxi for the rest of the journey, and the school would have everything set up, the laptop, the screen, everything, and I would present in the auditoriums or their halls or wherever they had it set up. So it was a very enriching experience for me, and there are a lot of people who are still in South Africa who are in WITS leadership, who sometimes when I'm on the calls and I'm listening to what they're doing with the initiatives for women, for education, the partnerships they're building up in America, they know me, which is good, because they do know that I'm looking for work. They know what I've gone through, and they do tell people they want to see what they can do for me. So I put my faith completely in God, and when I need to, I contact my spiritual director, because spiritual warfare is not the same as this earthly warfare. The things that come against me are not, if it was somebody else, they would probably be devastated, probably say, you know what, just give up. There's no point even doing this. And even the big concerts we had when Sir Bob Geldof organized them, they pulled it off, all these artists. What they did was incredible. It was completely amazing. I don't like calling them sir because, I don't know, it's just associated with this whole British royalty kind of thing. So you'll notice in my posts, I just call them Andy Murray and Bob Geldof, and even Bono. I don't call him Sir Bono. I don't know. But that's just me. I grew up in a republic. I would find it very weird to go around calling him Sir Bono. It's like, whatever. So let's hope and pray that this is going to be the start of good things for me. And I do miss my brother. I keep in touch with him. I get very annoyed when people ask my mother, oh, why does she want to go to England? I'm like, hello, I'm not 2 years old, I'm here. You want to know why I want to go to England? Ask me. Why are you asking her? Do you think she knows anything? She's like, oh, she wants to go to her brother. I'm like, you can tell them whatever you want. Please go ahead and tell them. If they can't be bothered to be respectful and talk to me and ask me why I want to go to England, I can't be bothered to ask them. And I learned some of these things from watching the black leaders. I watched Mandela, I watched Mugabe, I watched all of them. Because when you're dealing with the whites have a superior attitude. And they're like, oh, shame. Oh, there she goes again. Shame. There. You don't know. You don't know me, and you don't know who I've got behind me. And the same way that all these big shots like Mandela, and went to visit him in the prison, all these big shots here know me in Canada. Marco Mendicino, Marie Claire, they all know me. They all know me. And they knew me from before I got involved with Bono's One campaign. And they all liked me. So it's not a matter of whether people like me or not. It's a matter of getting that opportunity. But if people are not going to respect me and they're going to tell me to just shut up and do your job, then that's not going to work for me. I've worked too hard and I've come too far for people to tell me just shut up and do your job. And remember my background. Remember I went to Wits University, and remember what we stand for. Then maybe you'll begin to understand me. I don't want to go to England just because of my brother. I loved England. I loved the life I had there and the freedom and not being tracked and followed by the likes of Eric Charbonneau. And I don't like him. And if these women think that women are running after their men, please, you fell in love with your husband and your husband fell in love with you. Nobody is interested in your husband, especially not me.